Hey guys, and welcome to my first year of 2020. Hope you're all doing really well. And I wanted to start the year with something a little different. So I actually went out and bought my first pro kit again. And my first pro kit was a Tama Starclassic Performer EFX in white silk, and it was an absolutely gorgeous kit. And unfortunately, when I was younger, I did sell the kit. Basically, I just didn't know how to look after my drums as well as I do now. And unfortunately, the white colour got burnt by the sun and basically turned it a bit of a vintage colour, which I didn't like, so I eventually sold it. Anyway, rewind about 2 weeks ago and I found a kit that was of the similar model. I think this kit was made in something like 2002, something like that. I found a guy in Newcastle that was selling it. Now Newcastle is a really long way away from where I am down in the south. So it was about a 5-hour drive up to Newcastle and then a 5-hour drive back down just to get the kit. So we're going to take it right back to the beginning where I actually restored these drums, because when I got them they were in good condition, but I just wanted to see if I can get them into better shape, ready for the camera for YouTube. Okay, so let's take it right back to the beginning and I'm going to show you how I restored the kit. The kit's in pretty good shape. The drums do need a good clean. So you can see there's all types of like dust and extra bits of wood and bits of the drum heads that have come off, broken off into the shell. That's going to be really easy to clean. And then there's just going to be things like little bits of paint transfer that just need rubbing off, like here. Let's see, there's like a little mark there. Let's go around the other side. A little bit there, just all these tiny little bits that can be easily rubbed off. And I'm going to be using some products such as WD-40, which will get rid of a lot of like the like plastic transfers that are on here. You can just rub them off and it breaks them down. You've got sticky stuff remover, which is good for getting rid of just other bits of stickiness and like gunge and stuff that's built up on the drums. And then one of my favourite products, which is an all metal polish, which is so good. I usually use it with things like my car, just for like cleaning the chrome on the car, but it's extra useful in things like kitchen and bathroom appliances. I've even used it to clean cymbals before that are like 20 years old and they've come up looking brand new. So I'm hoping that on things like the chrome, which you can see, you know, you've got like some speckles and stuff, that the metal polish will do a great job of removing those nasty specks and bring it back to a really nice new finish. So let's see how we get on. Off we go. Alright, not bad. That's a lot of the just like cobwebs and bits of like dust and stuff that have made their way into the shell and between the hoops and stuff. So next what I'll do is I'll move on and maybe use something like a wet wipe, just give it like a quick clean over first. Wet wipe with a bit of kitchen roll to clean that off, and then we'll use some of the more hardcore products like the sticky stuff remover and get on with the metal polish as well, which will be fun. So yeah, we'll crack on with that. Don't know if you can see that on the camera, but there are a couple of like, I don't know what they look like. They look like very small scratches or something like some other types of paint transfer. It could be anything like a flight case or like another instrument knocking into it, but I'll see if I can get that off. Don't know if you can actually pick that up on the camera. It's good if you don't, because it means when I'm filming you won't see it anyway. But yeah, that's so much better now. Fantastic. So I've just run into some sticky stuff. That could be anything, like a bit of tape. Who knows? But I'm going to use a little bit of this sticky stuff remover, which is there. Just going to lightly spray some on. And it just comes right off. This is so therapeutic, you have no idea. Next I'll move on to the chrome for this particular drum. But what I'll do is I'll just go through and do all the other drums and just sort them out as well. So I've just done the initial clean on the shells wrap, the finish, and it wasn't too bad at all. I know the bass drum's going to be a little bit nastier, but yeah, it came up looking pretty good. Even on the logos all look pretty good, so I don't think I really need to do any work on those. Maybe when the kit's set up I'll rethink that one, but other than that the shells are nice and clean. I didn't really worry too much about getting some of these black markings off. That could just be any dirt that's built up over time, or even little bits of transfer from the drum heads, residue from the drum heads. So I didn't really lose I'm not going to lose sleep over those, because I know that the hoops over here, they're going to hide those black markings. So yeah, I think like the next thing I'm going to do then is I'm going to use the all metal polish, and I'm just going to go along some of the lugs. Let's see if I can show you one that's particularly bad. Let's see, this one here, so that you can see it's got speckles of stuff. It could be anything, but I know that the all metal polish will do a really good job of bringing that up, which would be really cool. Yeah, they're all not too bad at all. So yeah, let's crack on with that. Okay, the next step, which is a pretty big important one, is to grab the die-cast hoops and give them a really good polish with the metal polish. Because if you think about it, on a drum kit, some of the shiniest parts of the kit are definitely the hoops. So I've actually finished all the drums now, so there they are, 10, 12, 14, and they've all been polished and cleaned, and all the dust and rubbish off the drums has now been removed. So what we're going to do is take each hoop and just apply a little bit of the metal polish. I know this is going to be probably the most labour intense part, because I think some of these hoops are pretty grimy. Again, the camera probably isn't showing it as bad as what my eyes can see, but I think once these are all buffed up and as clean as possible, it's going to look so good. So let's crack on and do that. So I've just finished buffing all the hoops. There they are down there. It's taken about 45 minutes. I knew it would be like quite a long stage, but totally worth it because they look a hell of a lot better now. Let's just grab one and have a look. So much better, considering the hoop is about 20 years old, because I believe these kits came out early 2000s, something like 2002 or 2004. So the kit is nearly 20 years old, and this is the original hardware, and it's come up looking really good. So this is going to be a really cool stage next. This is the where the payoff happens. So I've got myself some fresh heads. I've got some EC2s from Evans, the clear EC2s to go on the batter, and then I've got some Evans G1 clears to go on the Rezo heads. So that's what we're going to do now, and we're also going to do the finishing mounts as well. So we'll check those out in a moment. Okay, so this is by far one of the coolest parts of the restoration of this kit. So the kit is 20 years old or so, and when Tama released these Starclassic kits, they came with the pretty innovative Starcast mounting system, which is black, and that basically shows the age of the drum. Since then, Tama have updated these mounts a good deal, and to be honest with you, like aesthetically speaking, I'm going for very much a white and chrome build with this kit, so I didn't want too much black on the drum if I could help it. So over here, move that one out of the way. Thanks to my friends at Tama GBI, or Tama UK, I spoke to them and said, have you got the updated Starcast mounts for 10, 12 and 14 inch tom-toms? So they hooked me up. Let's just grab them in here. So that looks like the 10-inch one. And yes, you can see if I just do a comparison, aesthetically speaking, like this is looking really, really tight. A nice chrome tom mount instead of the black one. And this is pretty much the finishing piece for a tom-tom, which is going to look absolutely wicked. And you'll see on the tom-tom, each top hoop has these 3 larger holes, which is basically where this fits in, like so. And there you have it. There is the 10-inch tom, completely finished with the Starcast mount. That brings it right up to a fresh modern look. And yeah, it looks really nice because it's just literally white and silver, which is exactly what I wanted to go for. No black, just keep it really like aesthetically clean, and I think that looks pretty wicked for a 20-year-old drum. So I'm going to do that now to all the tom-toms. Okay, there we go guys. There are the completed tom-toms, fresh heads, cleaned up really nice, buffed all the hardware, got rid of all the grime that ended up on the drums. And we have the cool new Tama Starcast mounts, which look absolutely wicked. Love it. Okay, so next up is the bass drum, and the bass drum is definitely like the dirtiest drum of them all, in the worst condition, but we're not talking about too much damage. It's just there's just a lot of like paint transfers and dirt and bits of like wood shavings from drumsticks. It looks like it's been knocked a little bit, but I think I can restore it pretty well. And of course this is the original bass drum head as well. I don't know what that is, that's a Evans GMAD on there, so again we're going to just clean it all up and try and buff it up and make it look as good as possible. So here's a closer look, more up front on the drums, so you can see, yeah, there's lots of like dirt and potential paint transfers that need removing. So what I'll do is I'll take off the hoops and all the screws and clamps that keep it into place. I'll buff up all the chrome, things like the tom holder, which I'm not sure whether I'm going to use yet. I don't know whether I'll just use my existing clamps from things like my Star kit. Let's have a look around here. So yeah, there's like a little bit of damage there. You can see like some scratch marks on it. But the nice thing is, because the kit's white, you're not really going to notice it. Like if this was a black kit, then all of this would look really, really obvious. But we're hoping we can get away with it because it's a white kit. There's a nice big paint transfer there that the WD-40 should get off. But other than that, I'm feeling confident that we can get it looking great. So I've just taken apart the bass drum. You can see all the hooks there that keep the skin together with the wood hoop. And yeah, it's definitely the drum that's in the worst condition, which was to be expected. You know, like I guess the bass drum being the biggest gets the most knocks, especially at the top here. You can see that there are some markings. Most of them do look like just grime and dirt and a few paint transfers, or it might be the kind of place where you'd rest your drumstick. But other than that, oops, other than that, I think it'll be absolutely fine. So I'm just going to crack on with that now. Just doing all the same process, just using the sticky stuff remover, the WD-40, and then finish all the chrome off with the metal polish. So I'm going to do that right now. So I've just given the hoops a good clean, and I have completely finished the bass drum as well, which took quite a long time. Took about an hour or so to truly clean it all up, especially with all the bits of chrome, which are looking 10 times better now. So on some of the hoops you can see that's where the bass drum pedal's been, and I'm not too fussed because that's where my bass drum pedal will go, and I know that I'll probably use some sort of protector on this bit. Like it could be anything like a bit of plastic or something that can be moulded onto it to protect the hoop a little further, but other than that I think that's as good as that hoop is ever going to be. And there's the other hoop down there. So the bit that I'm going to move on to next is some of the really nice final touches. So I've got myself a chrome O-ring, and in here I've got myself a custom drum head and an Evans EMAD 2, I believe. So what I'm going to do is open the custom drum head, install the O-ring, and that is going to absolutely finish off my white and chrome design. Okay, so let's get to it. So guys, here is my custom bass drum head, which I think looks absolutely wicked, and it's going to really finish off the white and chrome look that I'm going for with this kit. And I'm going to try and remove sort of as much black as possible, which you can see in there is the old Tama head from the 20-year-old kit. So I went ahead and designed a custom bass drum head, and thank you very much to the guys at customskins.co.uk. I'll link them below for the link of where I actually got it manufactured. So big shout out to them. So I've got my custom bass drum head, I've got the two parts of the O-ring, and I've got my trusty scalpel and a mat as well to do this. So what you basically do is you would turn it round this direction, and you'd roughly estimate where you want your hole to be. So I want mine to be on the right hand side when you're looking at the kit, so it would be the left hand part of the skin. And what you do is you stick it down, put the mat underneath, and start to score the inside of the head. I'm always a little bit nervous when I do this, but actually it's quite hard to mess up. So you'd score all the way around it, remove this bit of the drum head, which then becomes useless, so you can throw that. And then basically this is forced into a groove, which you do round the other way, because of course this comes the front of it. And that's how you can port your bass drum head to be able to put a microphone in it. So I'm going to do that now. It's a little bit fiddly, but hopefully that will make sense and it will really finish off that chrome look. Alright, so there's the first part. So there is the reinforcement ring, which this would then snap into, and you can see that I've scored away that part of the drum head. It's currently looking like that. So yeah, move on to the next stage, which is inserting this, which is definitely the hardest part. But anyway, here we go. And there it is finished. So there is the microphone porthole installed onto the custom head. It's quite a fiddly part of the stage. It's really tricky trying to get the lip of these two parts to connect. Anyway, there it is. It's looking really nice. So what we're going to do now is rebuild the bass drum and put it all together with the heads on it. Okay, there we go guys, I've put the bass drum all back together. That took quite a long time. That took about an hour and 30 to almost 2 hours worth of work, just completely restoring it and get rid of all the muck and gunk and marks on it. Anyway, there's the custom head. I think it looks so good. It gives the kit such a fresh yet clean look, because you've got obviously the chrome and the white, which is the colours I was going for. So yeah, there it is. What we're going to do now is going to walk into the studio, and we're going to finish the setup in the studio. So it's a bit of a mess in here. It's one of my older kits there. So what I'm going to do is completely set up the white kit and then give it a bash, which is what we've all been wanting, is to see how it looks and then to see how it sounds. Let me tell you why I'm so nostalgic with this kit. So everyone remembers their first pro kit. It's usually a really special time, and in my youth I must have been about 14 or so, and I was absolutely dead set on buying this Tama Starclassic kit. And I remember working as much as I could for my parents, my nan and my gran at the time. And what I would do is I'd just go around their houses and say, look, do you have any chores that I can do? Most of them were cleaning chores, but what I did was just worked really hard for 1 year and saved up around £1,000 to be able to buy the shell pack and a few bits of hardware. So after all the effort and TLC to restore the kit, I'm hoping that you guys learned something and how you could actually do that with a similar kit that you've bought. Maybe it's secondhand, or maybe it's a really vintage kit that you just want to bring back to life. Anyway, it would be wrong not to show you how it sounds. So let's check out how the individual kit sounds, all the individual pieces, the toms, the bass, and then you can hear it all in context. So enjoy. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching. I absolutely loved making this video. It was hugely nostalgic for you, given that the kit is about 20 years old. It's about how long I've been playing for, and it's just such a nice trip down memory lane. So I'd encourage you guys to do something similar. You'll learn a lot just by learning how to restore a kit. And as you can hear and see, the results are absolutely spectacular. Anyway guys, that's it for today. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you again soon.